What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we are back with another rebuild, of course, and today we're going to be saving the Memphis Grizzlies. So this one was being asked me in the comment section below, and I haven't done a Grizzlies rebuild in quite some time. Now, I will admit, the Grizzlies aren't even in the worst spot in the world. It's not like we're saving a team like the Pistons where they're rebuilding and all that. The Grizzlies are rebuilding, but they're actually, somewhat fighting for an 8th seed, even when their second best player's been out the whole season. Jaren Jackson, John Morant are both awesome guys, but I feel like what we can do to accomplish today is try to get that third guy that's going to take this team over the top. So, if you guys enjoy this one, make sure to leave a like, of course, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 20K, and I would love for you to join that sub train. But other than that, let's go ahead and jump right into this rebuild. I decided to just go ahead and simulate season number 1 because it didn't really matter, and these are the awards. We are the 9th seed, which is, somewhere the Grizzlies could honestly end up. We went 39 and 43. Personally, I love John Morant, and I think he is a great player. So I'm very excited to build around him. Jonas Valanciunas, you got Dylan Brooks, who's also a really solid player in real life, and then Brandon Clark. There's some young talent here. There is definitely some young talent here, but the unfortunate part is Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't really play this season, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a chance he can come back at the end, but I might be wrong on that. I'm not 1000% sure. Regardless, he hasn't played at all this season yet. So let's go ahead and see how these playoffs are going to go, as we got Philadelphia and Los Angeles Lakers battling it out in 7, as the Lakers take it in 7 games. All right, getting into the offseason where we're going to go ahead and get started. So we are going to end up with a lottery pick to start things off. So W there. How lucky, how fun would it be if we jumped up like crazy amount of spots, which we probably won't. We'll probably stay at number 14, but it would be fun to jump up a couple spots. I'm not going to lie. So let's see if we do. Number 14. Yeah, it just goes to us. Never mind. We don't get lucky here. So we just stick at number 14. Our 1% chance was never going to happen. So, we could still get a very solid player at number 14 though, in my mind. So staff signing, Taylor Jenkins has actually done a really solid job with this team, and I don't really want to see him go, so I'm gonna try to find him because I feel like he's done such a good job that there's no reason to just let him go and just let him walk out. If I can find him. There he is. Taylor Jenkins. His ratings are trash on this game, but you know what, I'll deal with it. It's fine, no big deal. So definitely would have loved to have got a good trainer, but I honestly choked that job, but it's all good. So we're gonna go to the draft now, and with the 14th pick, we're gonna be trying to acquire somebody that's gonna help us out. So at number 14, and we have 2 second-round picks as well. Got to keep that in mind. We have Jaren Jackson is gonna be healthy now. Jonas Valanciunas. There's really nobody I want to trade necessarily. There's a lot of young talent here though, so that's awesome. But I think we're just gonna draft here. I'm hoping that certain shooting guard drops me, because I know he can be a beast, and there are times where he falls in the draft. So let me see if he did. Number 1. No, he went number 1 overall. Oh wow. So sometimes BJ Boston drops all the way like number 20 or something like that, but unfortunately we don't get lucky. Cade Cunningham dropped all the way to number 7 to the Toronto Raptors. Raptors fans will be super excited about that, but we're just gonna be taking whatever we can get here. So I see Quentin Grimes, I see Charles, I see Jeremiah Robinson, Allen Flanagan, Cam Thomas, Kai Jones, Josh Christopher, Sharif Cooper. So obviously I kind of want to take a backcourt player here like Allen Flanagan and just hope he can work out well next to John Morant. So that's what I'm going to do. So welcome Allen Flanagan, and I'll go ahead and use this first second round pick to draft this guy out of wherever he may be. So boom, Allen Flanagan at 75 overall, and we got 2 honestly pretty solid second rounders as well. So W. Justice Winslow, we're gonna go ahead and decline that. Obviously he hasn't been the most fantastic player. At times with the Miami Heat he was pretty good, and then he got hurt and didn't play that long. And then Memphis, he hasn't really done anything crazy, so we're just gonna go ahead and decline him. Qualifying offers, we have none. And then free agency, we got Winslow I'm not bringing back. So looking at the roster now, you got John Morant, Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, DeAnthony Melton, Desmond Bane, and Allen Flanagan. So we have a lot of competition to the shooting guard. Honestly, a lot of these guys are pretty solid on the team. Like Desmond Bane has shown some promise. Grayson Allen has been pretty good for them this season as well. Dylan Brooks, John Conchar, Jaren Jackson, Kyle Anderson, Brandon Clark, and Jonas Valanciunas and Xavier Tillman. So to me, this team is just drained with depth. So I kind of want to make some moves in order to grab somebody that's going to help us out. So one thing I do, have a good idea. Like I feel like it'd be a lot of fun if I could pull this off, and I don't think I'll be able to, but I'm going to go to Team Intel, and let me go to the Golden State Warriors real quick. They have a big man that obviously isn't going to be a huge, it's going to be interesting to see what the Warriors do with James Wiseman, whether to keep him around or go ahead and trade him for like a more win now player. And I feel like it can offer that to them. And Jonas Valanciunas, I don't know if Valanciunas would get the deal done obviously straight up, and they can't even afford it straight up. So this is kind of where I want to start the trade package, and I want to see if I can acquire James Wiseman from the Warriors to go ahead and snag him over here on the Grizzlies to form kind of a big three, if you ask me. That would be a lot of fun. With the Golden State Warriors, we're going to be getting James Wiseman, and we're doing a pick swap, which isn't terrible, and we're trading 1 first, Desmond Bane, Xavier Tillman, and Amari Celia. So yeah, we're trading all this for James Wiseman. I think that forms more of a big three that I like. So you got James Wiseman, Jaren Jackson, and that kind of thinned out our rotation a little bit more because we had a lot of depth, so we were able to get rid of some. I know Desmond Bane is going to be hard to get rid of, or some people are going to be upset I got rid of him, but at the same time we had a lot of guards we could dispose of, so I'm not too upset about it. So I also kind of want to move, I think, one of these guys to the small forward. We'll see who I'm going to move there. Dylan Brooks, John Gonchar, and then Kyle Anderson still here. And of course, we don't really need Jonas Valanciunas anymore because I just got James Wiseman. So Jonas Valanciunas, if I could dump him off for literally anything, like Tyrese Maxey as a backup point guard, Darius Garland even would be kind of fun. Clint Capella, Precious Achiuwa from the Heat. The Jazz want a big man. Derek Favors would be a nice backup. The Knicks giving up Mitchell Robinson, Cole Anthony, Josh Green for the Mavericks, and Willie Cauley-Stein. Yeah, I feel like the Mavericks, if they wanted to make more of like a win now move next to Porzingis and Luka, sure, why not? We'll get Josh Green and Willie Cauley-Stein, and Willie Cauley-Stein will be our backup for the year, and then we'll kind of figure it out. And then Josh Green, Aaron Wiggins, and we got a lot of competition in the small forward. There's a lot of competition around this team, but it's fine. Kyle Anderson, I feel like I should trade him as well because I kind of want to give these minutes to Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson. Kyle Anderson has been nice for this team, but at the same time, I just kind of want to give the minutes to the other guys. So if I can get a first round pick from Chicago for him, fine by me. Alfred Camino, sure, we're not going to use him in the rotation, and that will be the end of our first offseason. So a lot via trade. James Wiseman, I feel like is a massive W. We kind of formed a big three, if you ask me, and they're all pretty much on the same timeline as well, which should be fun. I again don't know what the Golden State Warriors are planning on doing with James Wiseman, whether they're going to keep him around and just kind of keep him for after Stephen Curry and Clay might be gone, or if they're going to trade him for somebody that might help Clay and Steph. Now it'll be interesting to see what route they decide to go. I'm sure Bob Meyer has his hands full of decisions he can make. So I'm going to go ahead and give untapped potential to Jaren Jackson. I'm going to give this other one, I think, to the guy we just acquired. Just kidding, because Wiseman's already an A+, so I'm going to give it to Brandon Clark instead. So looking at our rotation now, we have John Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, James Wiseman, Brandon Clark, Willie Cauley-Stein, D'Anthony Melton, and Tyus Jones. Got Josh Green. Allen Flanigan's not even getting minutes right now, which is a little bothersome, honestly. I feel like Allen Flanigan, I kind of want to give him the starting spot, to be honest. So how should I go about that is the question. Should I bench Grayson Allen, or should I take D'Anthony Melton? Like, I don't know. Like, do I take... that's not what I want to do. I wanted to give Allen Flanigan minutes. Okay, so we take Tyus Jones minutes away, and we move Grayson Allen to the bench and say we did this. But I feel like Grayson Allen should probably get minutes, right? That would only make sense because he's been pretty good. D'Anthony Melton, and then yeah, I feel like that's the way we go about it. I'm cool with that. So Allen Flanigan, I'm gonna start him with the shooting guard just because his potential is up there, and I want to see him get the most amount of minutes as possible. We're gonna go ahead and simulate this first season though, kind of see how things go. I guess this is the second season if you want to be technical, but the first season I have control. So let's see how things go, and hopefully we're a playoff team this time around because we were really close last year. Player, unfortunately, we still didn't make the playoffs. We're the 9th seed once again, so it's like we're literally just that team that fights for the 8th seed every year but never gets it. So you know what, it's fine. We still have a lot of growing to do, and I'm not tripping too much yet anyway. So we'll just run it back. I think I need to thin out the rotation even more though. I feel like we should probably strengthen some of our positions to like just justify winning a getting into the playoffs, man. That's like, at this point, that's my only goal. So at number 14 or at number 12, so the Warriors have the right to swap from that James Wiseman trade, so they have number 12 while we get the Grizzlies pick here as well, and then we also get number 15. So we only went down 3 spots. So 15 and 21, and I had another one as well I didn't even notice. But I think what I want to do is I want to fire my trainer, and I'm gonna keep that. All right, so let's go to the NBA draft. So we have 3 picks in this draft. What I want to do is I want to thin out the rotations, bro, because like wait, how many players do we have under contract right now? Only 3. Okay, so Dylan Brooks, D'Anthony Melton. So I feel like the only guy I kind of want to trade is D'Anthony Melton. Not that I really want to, but kind of want to see what I can get for him real quick, just in case anything. Okay, so I don't see anything that fantastic. What about if I threw Dylan Brooks and D'Anthony Melton together and number 15. Like, would that give me anything crazy? Nah. Okay, so we'll probably I wish I kind of had more players under contract here, because I'm honestly ready to make a big move, and if I had a lot of players under contract, that would have been a lot more fun. But it's okay. So at number 15, we're just gonna add more depth, I guess, because at this point, what else do we need? So at number 15, Marcus Bagley, Jabari Smith Jr. We don't really need a power forward though. Maybe I should just draft here, and then I will just take, like, I'll probably flip these guys in a trade or something, because like at this point, we really don't need all these guys. So let me just see what okay, so out of all this, I mean, we got a lot of draft capital, obviously. Player options, John Morant going to bring everybody back. Everybody's come back on their rookie contract. Jaren Jackson and Grayson Allen are both free agents, and then free agency. So yeah, big free agency. And we have a lot of money we could use, to be honest. Jaren Jackson's going to be getting paid though, so we got to keep that in mind. All right, Luka would be funny if I brought him here, obviously. Trae Young and John Morant backcourt, but I don't know if that would make a lot of sense. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in Memphis would be kind of fun, actually, to be honest. Dude, can I pull that off, you think? Let me see if I can pull that off. That'd be fun if I could do that. Jaren Jackson, let me go ahead and give him his contract as well. Shea, and they match. I thought they would. Okay, so that makes sense. They match. And I guess Jaren Jackson's going to be coming back on his qualifying offer, which is fine. So Jaren Jackson, welcome back to the team. And all right, what do we need, man? We could use a backup point guard. We have Allen Flanigan and D'Anthony Melton at the 2 right now. And I'm content with seeing what Flanigan can do at that 2 spot this year. Brooks, dude, there's just so many small forwards. And I think at this point, we should go for a small forward. We have Jonte Porter here as well. I think we should definitely trade for a small forward. I love Dylan Brooks as much as the next guy. But if we can get an upgrade at that small forward spot, I think that is definitely the way to go. So, team intel. What small forward should I be going after, though? Like a DeAndre Hunter would be kind of fun from the Atlanta Hawks if we want to do something like that. We could even think bigger picture. There's RJ Barrett, Jonathan Kuminga. What do we, Michael Porter Jr., if the Nuggets were willing to give him up. I don't know if he's gotten paid yet, which he should have, which he's been going to have to step up. And he did get paid. So honestly, we could probably throw a lot of assets at this roster and snag Michael Porter Jr. just because, like, it's just, we have so much to give up, like, at this point. So those 2 don't get it done. We have so many small forwards. I'm willing to throw everybody there. So, like, I'll give you every small forward in my roster, to be honest, with Michael Porter Jr. And I'll give you Aaron Wiggins. All this for Michael Porter Jr. They still don't agree. I'll give you a first as well. They still don't agree to that. Wow, okay. And I'll also give you, what about DJ Carton? All right, boom, DJ Carton got it done. So we got a legitimate small forward. We thinned out rotation even more. John Morant, Allen Flanigan, D'Anthony Melton, Michael Porter Jr., Dylan Brooks, and Josh Green. Jaren Jackson, Brandon Clark, and then James Wiseman, Jonte Porter. So at this point, we need either a backup point guard or a backup center, and we're ready to roll. So point guard, Jalen Brunson would be fun, or you could go for like Montrezl Harrell or Robert Williams or something. But I think I'm going to go for the backup point guard. Jalen Brunson seems like a good option. Anthony Simons has shown, signs of life in Portland before. So I think I'm going to go... No, I don't want to pay Jalen Brunson that much money, actually, as a backup point guard, so I'm good on that. Backup center, that would make sense. Who's not going to cost me a fortune? Willie Cauley-Stein, I could just bring him back, I guess, for like 2 years. Sure, why not? So Willie Cauley-Stein, welcome back. And I imagine Grayson Allen will be back too, which I don't mind if he comes back. And then looking at the player progression, this team should look legitimate on paper. John Morant, Jaren Jackson, Michael Porter, James Wiseman, Brandon Clark. We've built pretty much a young God squad. So I'm hoping that this team makes the playoffs. If nothing else, we just make the playoffs. That's like all I want now, because I just want to make the playoffs with this team, because I don't want to be I don't want this rebuild to be known as the team that literally got the 9th seed every year. So I think this team should get over that hump and they should make the playoffs. At this point, we've kind of formed a big 4, a lot of young guys as well. So I'm excited to see what we're about to do this season. I'm gonna throw this last one, I think, at Brooks, I guess. All right, boom. Let's see what this team looks like now in the rotation. So John Morant, Allen Flanigan, Michael Porter, Jaren Jackson, James Wiseman, Brandon Clark, Grayson Allen, Josh Green, and Dylan Brooks. I'm just going to run a 9-man rotation as well. And then proficiency-wise, 4-star at 7 seconds. Let's simulate this season, and let's make the playoffs. Hey, Warriors fans, close your eyes, because it might scare you. Who knows? Never know, man. Stephen Curry might find his way on the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie. I'm just kidding. I don't know about that. But MVP, Stephen Curry at the age of what? Like 35. Wow. JD Davison, Rookie of the Year. What a beast. 28 points per game on the Rockets. Malcolm Brogdon, 6th man. Giannis, Defensive Player. Deshaun Nix, Most Improved. And Nate McMillan, Coach of the Year. So we ended up as the 1st seed in the Western Conference, which is all I wanted. And then John Morant is on the All-NBA 2nd team. And then here's your All-NBA 3rd team. So first seed in the Western Conference atop the conference. 23 points, 21, 19, 16 and a half, and 12. So I think our team definitely was a little bit more legitimate this year, and hopefully that shows in the playoffs. As we play the Phoenix Suns, we have Dinwiddie and Booker in the backcourt. No Chris Paul. That should bode well for us, but you never know, as we are going to beat them in 5 W's. So now we play the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Nasir Little, Jabari Smith, Mark Williams, Norman Powell, Malik Monk. Okay. Speaking of the Blazers, man, I am so terrified once we get into the... I'm a Blazers fan, and I am so terrified once we get into the playoffs. If the season ended today, we would play the Clippers in the playoffs, and for some reason, I just have this scared doubt in my mind that the Clippers would literally just lock us up, and Terry Stotts wouldn't even know what to do with himself. So, like, yeah, I'm a little nervous, man, for the playoffs, but you know, I just don't want to go to the playoffs and get embarrassed that one time. But bro, that one time, I'm getting a little off topic, but that one time the Blazers got swept as the 3rd seed and got absolutely embarrassed by the Pelicans, that was like, I was down astronomically, bro. I was like so sad. Like, watching that series just made me depressed, bro. Like, it was so bad. But we beat them in 6 games. That's what I'm talking about. Now we play the Los Angeles Lakers, who have Russell Westbrook. Okay. How do they afford this? He signs for $5 million. When does that ever happen? Moses Moody, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Andre Drummond, Miles Bridges, Devontae Graham. Yeah, this is kind of a very, very scary looking team. But hey, who knows? Similarly current round, and we lose in 6 games. Yep. I thought that was going to happen. So now we get to play the Brooklyn Nets, and the Nets go on to beat them. Who did the Nets have? Let me see what the Nets had, because this was kind of a weird looking thing, right? Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Kofi Cockburn got it done. Let's go. And then Kyle Anderson, DeAndre Jordan, Claxton, and Joe Harris. Okay, interesting. I can't believe KD and Stephen Curry reunite to take down LeBron once more again. Wow. Okay, we're going to run it back one more time, though. Same roster, same rotation, no changes. Run it back. See if we can make something happen this time. Goddamn. So at the end of this year, we finished as the 5th seed in the West. So yeah, we honestly didn't finish that good record-wise, 43 and 39, which is a little disappointing in my mind. But hey, it is what it is. We'll just kind of see how these playoffs go. We're playing the Golden State Warriors, who lost Stephen Curry, but they have D.R. Johnson, and they have a pretty good roster, I guess, still. But who knows? Somebody current round, and we beat them in 7. Okay, so now we get to play the Los Angeles Lakers, who still have Russell Westbrook. They don't have LeBron James this time, but they have Chris Middleton. Somebody current round against them, and we lose in 5. So yeah, the Los Angeles Lakers are just too good for us today. So yep, Lakers are just a juggernaut, and Anthony Davis is unstoppable, as you can tell. Well, you know what? We did our best with this Grizzlies roster. I think we put together a pretty good young squad, but at the end of the day, we didn't win a championship, so it's whatever. We made it to the Western Conference Finals once, but it is what it is. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Definitely leave it a like if you did. I'm really excited for the NBA playoffs. I'm sure most of you guys are. And hopefully I can figure something out where we're going to be doing some NBA playoffs watch parties, like streams wise, because I do want to start streaming again, because I had a lot of fun streaming with you guys, talking about basketball with the trade deadline and all that. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.